We're live. What do you think?
मैले सुरुबाट भनौँ
के भन्नु पर्दैन म तिमीलाई दुःख दियो ल सुरु गरौँ है
ओके
Everest Live, how's it going?
हेलो हेलो
An epic day on Mount Everest, potentially one for the record books. I'm here with my good friend Dev Lama. Dev just got down from a successful summit, his second climb. Dev is working as a high altitude worker climbing Sherpa, and this is his second time up to the summit of Everest. So we're so excited to have you here, Dev. Dhanyavad. We'll be doing an interview with him in a second, but first we got to give you everybody the updates. I'm carrying my notebook because there's so much to talk about today that I have to check my notes. But basically what we saw is potentially one of the largest summit days in Everest history. This is not confirmed, but I spoke to the Nepali government representative here at base camp, and he told me that he thinks there's going to be over 200 summits today. In my calculations, when I reached out to a bunch of different companies, I was able to confirm 124 summits. And I am estimating that's probably 2/3 of the companies on the mountain right now. So it's potential that we got up over 200, but regardless, it was a super big day and it wasn't perfect weather. The winds were really heavy. Obviously, people had to stand in line for a long time. There was these rumors that some of the lines at the Hillary Step were up to 2 or more hours while people waited to get to the summit. So a pretty crowded, epic day on Mount Everest. But the good news is, while there have definitely been some issues of frostbite, definitely been some issues, people with snow blindness, we haven't heard of any rescues or fatalities today. And that's the great news. And also today was a big day for our Everest Live family. Tons of our family and friends made it to the summit. So I'm going to read off all of the cool things that happened on top of Mount Everest today. First of all, many of you probably noticed Bianca Adler, our great friend from Australia, 18 years old, made it to the summit at about 2:30 in the morning. And that was the last time I slept, was listening to her call down on the radio. And so she's now the youngest Australian ever to reach the summit. So congratulations, Bianca. Her family have been supporting her every step of the way. We've been hanging out with them here in base camp. I'm sure it's such a relief for them. We also know that she's come down safely and will be back in base camp soon. So great news, Bianca. Well done. We also, Adam Sweeney, 22 years old, becomes the youngest Irish person to summit. Magnus Rohrbakken, forgive me if I didn't say your name right, Magnus, but you are now the youngest Norwegian person to summit. So lots of young folks on the summit today. On the other end of the spectrum, my personal favorite Everest climber this year. Well, you're all my favorites. They're all my favorites. But Wally Steerbu. I interviewed Wally last year. We did an interview with him for Outside Magazine. Wally is a 75-year-old retired Chicago firefighter who's a Romanian refugee. He fled Romania when it was under communist rule, came to America as an immigrant, made a very successful life. And in 2012, he started his quest to do all 7 summits, the highest summit on every continent. He finished that quest 2 days ago and got down to base camp today. Wally is the most incredible guy. We did an interview with him. That's hilarious. So as soon as we get that worked up, you'll check it out. But just know that Wally from Chicago, firefighter, now has free pizza for life. And knowing Wally, he's going to be taking full advantage of that pizza opportunity. Mike Harker, sort of the head of communications at the U.S. Embassy, a senior U.S. diplomat, made it to the summit. Nicole Santiago, who we profiled before, became the first Puerto Rican American woman to reach the summit. Congratulations, Mike and Nicole. In other news, Oliver Foran, you guys might have been following Oliver, sort of the spunky Australian who's trying to break the sea to summit record. Well, he broke the sea to summit record by bicycling from the Indian Ocean, climbing and hiking all the way to the summit of Everest. He beat the fastest record up. Amazing work, Oliver. He's on his way down now with AGA Adventures. And then also our good friend Purnima Shrestha. She recorded her 6th she's a Nepali climber. She recorded her 6th summit. Huge effort for her. Great work, Purnima, as well. So that's kind of the wrap up. The last person, many of those of you who've been following us this season my friend and yours, and basically our comedic entertainment here at base camp, Jam McManus, the Irish missile, has completed his oxygen-free ascent of Lhotse. He's on his way down now safely. Jam's worked super hard for this, and so we're very, very, very proud of him. So really exciting. This is what Everest is made of. We'll see. We'll learn more about today as information comes in, because there's still many people who have come down and are staying at Camp 4. Strong climbers can get to the summit. If you're there early, you can get back down to Camp 2 in a day, but many climbers stop at Camp 4 and Camp 3. So it's going to be a few days before we start to understand everything that's happened, before all the stories filter back to base camp. But congratulations to all the climbers, however many hundreds of you there are. Super exciting, and I'm so excited that it's been a safe day. So now we're gonna check in with Dev. Dev, bye. So we've been talking to a lot of Bideshis, a lot of foreigners. We've been talking to a lot of Westerners and different foreign groups that have made it to the summit. But Dev here is working as a climbing Sherpa. This is his 8th season working on the mountain, and this is his 2nd Everest summit. So I'm going to do a little interview with him in Nepali. I'll be translating some questions, and please chuck some questions right into the comments here for Dev. And then we have some other summiteers and almost summiteers coming to talk with us after that. I do see a question of, do we have any update where Shauna's at? Shauna delayed her climb by a few days just because to avoid the crowds. So I believe she's heading up out of Camp 2 to Camp 3 today. We'll be looking at a summit in about 2 days from now for Shauna. We'll definitely keep you posted as she makes her way up. So Devji, कस्तो भयो यसपालि?
सर्वप्रथम धन्यवाद दाइ।
स्वागतम।
यसपालि चाहिँ कस्तो भयो भने अब यो चाहिँ मेरो सेकेन्ड चोटी हो हैन। सेकेन्ड चोटीमा चाहिँ अलिकति फर्स्ट चोटीमा भन्दा चाहिँ सेकेन्ड चोटीमा अलिकति डिफिकल्ट भयो मलाई चाहिँ। हो किनभने हाम्रो चाहिँ अब प्राय जस्तो समिट चाहिँ हाम्रो चाहिँ ग्रुपमै गर्छौं नि त हामी। तर यो चोटी चाहिँ अब म चाहिँ के रे सिंगल के रे लिड गरेर जानु पर्ने भयो ग्रुपलाई। त्यही भएर चाहिँ क्याम्प 3 र क्याम्प 4 मा चाहिँ अब त्यहाँदेखि अब आफैले म्यानेज गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ नि त। त्यही भएर चाहिँ अलिकति डिफिकल्ट भयो।
So I asked Dev how did it go? And what Dev was saying to me is that even though this was his 2nd summit on Everest, this time it was harder than his first time. The reason being is that the client that he worked with wanted to go up early and away from the group as a whole. So Dev was responsible for setting up Camp 3 and Camp 4 and managing everything there.
अनि भन्नु न। अनि कस्तो भयो भने अब फेरि पहिलो चोटीको भन्दा चाहिँ यो चोटी चाहिँ वेदर पनि एकदम च्यालेन्जिङ भयो।
And the weather was really difficult.
एकदमै हावा चल्यो हैन। 60 above को हावामा चाहिँ हामी समिट गरेर आयौं।
And so when Dev and his client reached the top, his friend Murilo is who climbed with Dev, the winds were over 60 kilometers an hour on the summit.
अनि तर ओभरअल अब ठिकै भयो, राम्रै तरिकाले समिट गरेर आयो, खुसी लागिरहेछ।
But he's happy that they made it back up and back safely. अब तिमीले यसपाला कमाएको पैसाले के गर्नुहुन्छ त्यो पैसाले? बाइक किन्ने, परिवार पाल्ने, रक्सी खाने, के गर्ने तिमी?
किन्ने, रक्सी खाने त्यस्तो भन्दा नि मेरो चाहिँ कस्तो छ भने म चाहिँ अब यही फिल्डमा काम गरेको मेरो 7-8 वर्ष समथिङ भइसकिसक्यो हैन। तर म चाहिँ ट्रेनिङहरु गर्छु। यो पैसाहरुले चाहिँ हैन म ट्रेनिङहरुमा अलिअलि लगानी गर्छु। अनि अब ट्रेनिङ महँगो छ नि त हाम्रो यो फिल्डमा चाहिँ, माउन्टेनियरिङ फिल्डमा। त्यही भएर हामी ट्रेनिङको लागि चाहिँ म युज गर्छु पैसाहरु चाहिँ प्राय।
So I was asking Dev what he was going to do with the money he earned from this trip. If it was something he was going to use for himself, buying a motorcycle, partying, taking care of his family, what did he plan to do with his earnings? And what Dev said is that he's actually going to save the money he earned in this trip and apply it to more mountaineering trainings. Trainings here in Nepal are quite expensive. And so Dev is going to be using what he's earned for his own professional development and investing in his own future. So Yuta Prasna Aya. Do the Sherpas take their own summit photos each time to keep the records? Mati summit पुगेर आफै फोटो खिच्छ कि खिच्दैन तिमी?
अब फोटो त खिच्नु पर्ने हुन्छ तर खासै फोटोको महत्त्व हुँदैन हामी चाहिँ क्लाइन्टको चाहिँ खिचिदिन्छौँ क्लाइन्टलाई चाहिँ प्रायोरिटी हुन्छ हाम्रो चाहिँ प्राय चाहिँ हजुर
त आफै त खिच्छ कि खिच्दैन
आफै सेल्फी त हानिदिएन
हो
खिच्दिनँ म
किन
अरूले चाहिँ खै खिच्छन् कि अब खिच्दैनन् म चाहिँ खिच्दिनँ अब भिडियो सिडियो चाहिँ बनाउँछु म होइन भिडियोहरू चाहिँ बनाउँछु त्यो मेमोरी हुन्छ नि त सम्झना हुन्छ मिठो त्यही भएर
ठिक छ So what Dev was saying is that the most photos are really important because it's a proof of the summit. So they take photos and videos at the summit for proof, but for Dev himself, he's not that interested in like taking selfies and that kind of thing. But it's very important. A big part of his job is to document his client's summit. So it's very important that he gets that photo right, and that's where his priorities are. Tico. Great. Ani, should we have Murilo come in?
Murilo.
So now we're bringing in the man who Dev brought to the summit. Murilo, come on in, buddy. Nice Congratulations. So Murilo and Dev got to base camp at about 7:30 this morning. And Murilo, I want, Dev was kind of, we were talking to Nepali about Dev's trip, and he was saying that this one was harder because it was just the two of you.
Yeah.
And those of you who've been following us, you've been seeing Murilo's, even today, these beautiful drone footages that we put up of all the lines above Camp 2 to Camp 3. That's all this guy. Murilo's like making a film about Sherpas, and this is also his third attempt on Everest. He finally made it to the top with Dev's help. So Murilo, tell me about Dev. Tell me about your adventure and your journey together.
I mean, this guy is a really special man, I mean, so he takes care of everything. He's really, I mean, this is now the part of the culture of Sherpas, and Dave is not different from anyone, the guy that takes care of everything, makes you feel comfortable. In the end, that's why I call them invisible heroes, because most of the people that goes to the summit always forget who is behind it, and that's why where Dev comes into this project that I'm being developing, that talks about who are the real heroes behind us as a client that goes to the summit,
Yep.
And I mean, the experience with him has been amazing. I feel really proud to be with this guy. I think he really showed me the relationship they have with the mountains, which is I mean, it's part of our culture also. I mean, we love the mountains, we want to be in the mountains, and we respect the mountains, and they are like part of it, So, yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable, how they can manage to make us reach the top, and without them, I'm pretty sure I would never do it.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, my man. You are the best.
You're most welcome. This is our job. So
you do it very well.
Yeah.
So, Murilo, what's one thing that Dev taught you on this climb? What's one thing that you learned from him that maybe you didn't expect?
I mean, I'm pretty self-confident, with all my skills. I come from rock climbing, yes. And there is a lot of knowledge involved in this. But I really learned with him that security comes first, He's the guy that takes care of us in every single way. He's the guy that keeps us really protective, and at the same time, he wants to share his life, I mean, it was one really specific moment when we were in the Camp 3, and we suddenly got some connection from his friend. And he just thought, no, there is a connection. And then he called his family. And I was calling my family as well, Yeah. So in the time we were both like sharing this moment, the family together. And by the way, this is part of a thing that I asked him, I mean, and I'm with this project developing up the project about the invisible heroes. And I just asked him, I would love to meet your family, to meet your daily life, that's something that I think will add a lot of the culture, and this was a really special moment for me, that I learned with him that this connection is much more than just the mountain itself, but the family, and so in the end, we are like a family, I mean, we build like a team, like family for real.
Tiमीलाई त्यस्तो लाग्छ?
हामी 2 महिना सँगै बिताउँछौँ
Oh, we spent 2 months together.
Yeah, together. So यो त हाम्रो यो अझ भनौँ न फ्यामिली भन्दा पनि अझ नजिक हुन्छ यो चाहिँ काम पनि हो नि त यो त एउटा आफ्नो कामप्रतिको माया हुन्छ त्यही माया सँगसँगै अनि क्लाइन्ट चाहिँ अब आफ्नो साथी त्यहाँ चाहिँ अब माथि त्यो सुनसान केही छैन पुरै के अरे हिमाल मात्रै सेत्तै छ त्यहाँनिर एउटा साथी भनेकै आफ्नो क्लाइन्ट हुन्छ अनि क्लाइन्ट नै फ्यामिली साथी जे भने नि हो.
So what Dev was saying is that by working together for 2 months, he feels that Murilo is even closer than his family. And what he was saying is that as they work together and as you climb together and you go up into the higher altitudes where there's nothing available, all you have is each other. And those kind of bonds are really, really special and are as strong as family. अनि तपाईँ चाहिँ मुरिलोबाट एउटा कुरा के सिक्नु भएको छ यसपालि?
मैले मुरिलोबाट अहिले एकदम गुड कुरा सिकेको छु के भने रेस्पेक्ट.
So he said he learned from Murilo a lot about respect.
Yeah. Just learn respect, not only me. Other guy also.
So how to respect everybody? के कस्तो छ?
एकदम राम्रो रेस्पेक्ट. बोली चाली भयो उसको हैन अनि सम्बोधन गर्ने सम्बोधन भन्छन् दाइ. आफूलाई सानो बनाएर अरूलाई ठुलो बनाउने चाहिँ एकदम मैले एकदम सिकेको.
So you learned from you, Murilo, that respect is so important, and that when you're interacting with other people, it's important to be humble and to put other people ahead of you.
Yeah.
And he said he really learned that from you and appreciated it.
I love this man. This is a special guy, you know.
Well, congrats to you both. Yeah. Well done.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to bring in our third guest.
Okay.
If you can get off the couch. Ani, Mole.
Hello.
So now our third guest is another one of my very favorite Everest climbers this year. Truly, Mule.
Thank you.
So we've been in the same camp together, and this is Mule's 4th time trying to climb Everest.
Yep.
And you've been through the avalanche in 2015.
14.
In 2014, you were through the earthquake in 2015.
Yeah.
And you keep coming back and trying again. Why was Everest so important to you that you kept coming back, Mole?
I did my first summit in Kilimanjaro 2006. Fell in love with it. Came straight to Nepal, climbed Mera Peak, and from Mera you see Everest. And I was like, I want to do that someday.
Yeah.
So I came back 2013 on the Tibetan side, turned around about the same altitude, 8,000 meters. And I don't know, it's just been in my system. Discovering Nepal, I love the people here. I've been lucky to meet Arnold in 2013. And every time I come to Nepal, I just realize how much I love this country, the people, the Sherpas, the culture.
Yeah.
And even if it's not to climb Everest, I will keep coming back to Nepal.
Right on.
Yeah.
And so, one of the things that I noticed about you is I think more too than many other people in base camp, I feel like you really felt the mountain and you really felt the people here. I feel like you're a very connected person.
Absolutely.
And how did that impact your climb this time? Like, what was going through your head as you were heading up and all that?
Well, no, I'm not gonna be I don't know if he's advertising or not, but I keep coming back with Arnold.
Sure.
Because he's such an amazing team expedition leader.
Yeah.
He knows how to select the climbers and sticking with him. And every time, I was listening to Murilo earlier. He has this magic that he makes the group, the Sherpas, the clients, becoming like a family, and we really support each other. Push each other to go stronger.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And so one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today is you didn't make it to the summit.
No, I didn't. I turned around this morning actually last night when we started the summit push. I felt very strong when we arrived at Camp 4. Actually, honestly, it was my best performance in terms of climbing yesterday. But honestly, as soon as I got into my tent at Camp 4, something clicked inside me and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
No regrets whatsoever. I was doing great physically, but I just felt that I had nothing left in the mental energy.
Yeah.
And so we started climbing for the summit, and after I think an hour and a half, I told Jenjen and Binjo, my two Sherpas, I was like, guys, no, I'm turning around.
Yeah.
Without any regret.
And how do you, now that you're back in base camp, now that your boots are off and the crampons are off,
yeah,
do you regret that decision?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
because if I had continued, I would have put someone else's life in danger. My Sherpa. Everest is still going to be here. I have other challenges in my life in terms of sports, in terms of activities, and as you know, I have a 5-year-old son, and there was no way I was going to take that chance of that coming back to him.
Yeah. And one last question I just wanted to ask you, to sort of in general, is, you're from North Africa. There's not a lot of African people at base camp. And this year, this year especially, every now and then, usually there's a few expeditions. But this year, I think you were probably the only African person I knew.
I saw a Moroccan sister, at least someone with a Moroccan flag on their down suit somewhere. When I was coming back from Camp 4, she was going up.
You caught a fleeting glimpse.
So I hope my sister from Morocco will make it to the summit.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just wanted to ask what that was like for you. Was it difficult at any times?
Absolutely not.
And is it something that you're proud of? And how do you feel about like representation of places outside of North America and Asia, or places that typically climb Everest? Do you feel that that's important, and why?
Mauritanians are really not risk-taking people. Our main sport is football, soccer for our American friends. No, if my dream was to be to make my country proud and be the first Mauritanian to bring a Mauritanian flag on top of the world, it's not going to happen. Hopefully, inshallah, it's going to be for the next generation.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
But I mean, you've really inspired me. Just your drive and your heart.
Thank you.
And so I just really also wanted to celebrate that and really appreciate you. So thanks for sitting with me, buddy. Appreciate you so much. You did such a great job.
Thank you.
Well, Everest Live. Actually, Kimlal Balona. By the Tony Kimlal. But we may have a third surprise guest, but while we're waiting, I know there's some questions coming in here. But while we were waiting, I got a text from the government representative.
Wow.
And he did confirm that there were over 200 summits. So this is coming from the government source today. I can't remember what the biggest number of summits in a day, but I think that this could definitely be it. So I'm going to skim through the comments. Well, we've got you here, Mole, because the bottom comment says, "What an incredible man."
Absolutely not.
And but then they deleted it. But that's how I feel. I feel that way about you too, Murilo. So there's definitely some questions in here about, how's Justin Sackett doing? Live? Okay. So our third guest.
Thank you.
Kimlal Gautam, the head government representative at Everest Base Camp. Kimlal, is it true that there were over 200 summits today?
No, today is for the record. Today I travel all the base camp and make Excel file.
Yeah.
And today 258.
258 summits. You've heard it here first, Everest Live.
Yeah, I think this is the most record number from the Nepal side. Before that, in 2019, May 23, there was a record of 323, the highest record in a single day summit.
Yeah.
But today, the highest record single day summit from Nepal
just
side,
from the Nepal side
was the before record was 223 in 2019 May 22.
Okay.
At that day, I was there for the summit observation for the Mount Everest Height Development Expedition. And today is amazing result. And now again, I'm updating. Maybe it's a high chance of increasing some climb, some numbers, because I'm updating now again and again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone. Apologies for the chaos, but that's incredible breaking news. The highest ever number from the Nepal side. Kimlal, we may see him here again because he's not just a Nepali government representative. He also works with the survey department, and this is the man who measured the height of Mount Everest.
In 2019 from the Nepal side.
In 2019 from the Nepal side, in a joint effort between the Nepal and the Chinese government. Kimlal's been to the summit twice.
Yeah, in 2011 first time.
Yeah.
And 2019 second time.
And he's also an author, and he's written a book that I've seen some pages of, and Kimlal goes on a long journey in his book about how Mount Everest sort of began in mythology, and then he came to measure its exact height in the present time. And so hopefully this is a book that we'll be seeing out in the public in English really soon.
Yes.
And did you hear any reports today about any injuries or any rescues? I didn't hear much. Did you hear anything that you're able to share publicly?
Yeah, why not? Today there are some rescues from 8K expedition, 7 Summit, and Glacier Himalaya, and some other expedition also, because of the high number of the climbers, and the today the summit started from the 3 a.m. in the morning, till 2 p.m.
People were summiting until 2.
Until 11 hour.
Oh my God.
11-hour summit. I think this is also another record.
Yeah.
And within this time, because of so many climbers, and because above the balcony, above the height of 8,450 meters, there is a section we call the Razors Edge, and above that the South Summit.
Yeah.
And from above the Razors Edge, there is just so traffic, and more than 5 hours they stop. Some climbers.
So people were stopped up there.
Reported in radio.
Okay.
And some have some very few, but I was expected before it may be high number of injury, but thanks God, not so high number of injuries reported. Till just 3 climbers have snow blindness, and 1 have frostbite. Other no reported till.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 3 injured climbers for 258 summits. While we're wishing them all a speedy recovery, I think we're also very grateful that that's the number.
Yeah, but by the way, some expedition agency also stopped the client in South Col yesterday night because of the so high number of traffic,
Yeah.
And some 5-6 expedition agencies reported me that they stopped the today morning. They have the today morning plan,
and
they shifted. They shifted for the tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Maybe now I think about 7 o'clock now.
Yeah.
I think they're
starting up again.
Yeah. Again.
So tomorrow we're going to see another big day.
Yeah. Tomorrow. So.
Do you think tomorrow will be bigger than today?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree.
But at least 150.
Really? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, it's Everest season, folks, and it's here. So thanks, everybody. What an incredible, sorry for all the chaos, but this is how it works at base camp. We're all a big family here. We all step in and help each other out. And Kim Lalji, thanks so much for coming. I want to do this again with you when we can talk about your work.
Thank you.
Not just the numbers that you're calculating as a part of your job.
Thank you, because I'm so busy for reporting, because traveling all over the base camp. The base camp length is at more than 2 kilometers.
Yeah.
And about 200 meter average width.
Yeah.
Today I visited every camp to take a report, make a diary.
You're the busiest man at base camp.
Not so busy.
Thanks for giving us a few minutes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Well, Everest Live, that's what we got for today. We got one question. Are people leaving Camp 4 staggered in any way? Yes, everyone's calculating differently. What time are we going to go? Today, there was a lot of calculations. The reason we saw summits up till 2 p.m. is some of the weather forecasts showed that the winds were going to be lower in the afternoon. So instead of going up, Mule and his team left last night at 6 p.m. to get to a morning summit. So they're all definitely staggered. That's part of the calculus that each of the guides made. As Kim Lal mentioned, it was sort of unprecedented, but some of the teams in Camp 4 actually didn't even go up last night and waited to go up tonight. So thanks, everybody. Lots of fun. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow. It's going to be just as exciting. For those of you who are not watching this live, you can sign up for our base camp VIP, and you can watch it live. Who knows who's going to come in and join us for the dispatch? Even I don't know. It just sort of happens that way. If not, please just subscribe to YouTube, tell your friends, and we're going to really finish this season with a bang. It's Ben. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Will we bring on Gelji? I would love to bring on Gelji. Gelji's at Camp 3 right now. But when he comes down, maybe we'll drag him over for a conversation. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Have a great day.